Ah, the mystery of the remote control. It seems that, well, before I got there, it was sitting behind my pillow. I did not know that. So, let's see. I swear I didn't do it. I swear. You believe me, right, Dad? Mm-hmm. He does. Okay. Oh my gosh. G.I. Joe. Okay, so what we have here is we got a lot of rough edges, as you can see. We've got a lot of stuff going on, okay? But we've got our basic holster, alright? So I'm going to go trim these. And I'm going to do it in a room other than this one, because I don't want a bunch of crap everywhere. Follow me. Alright, so we're going to do this. The light. Okay, we're going to do this about the sink here, okay? Because I don't want this going all over the living room, okay? And don't hammer things on tile floor. That means you tricks. Okay. Okay. Really funny, her video, she smashed a Night Finder copy, but my roommate pointed out, hey, that's on like tile floor. Oh, I better tell her about that. Well, there you go. Twix 1204. There's a lot of little pistols and things like that. Really cool mods. Okay. So I'm taking all this right here. Okay. And I'm trimming all these little ends. Like I said, even if you don't got perfectly cut duct tape, you can always trim it. Oh, this is like metal. That's nice. That's cool. I can take advantage of that in about a second. Okay. Remember, this is only the base layer of tape. There are many more layers of tape, and I'm talking like at least a dozen. Alright? Okay. This process applies for any holster. The main thing is you got to hook it and secure it. So you got to hook the base of it where the weight of it's going to be most of the time and secure it with a latch on the top. That latch could be a button, it could be Velcro. I've done Velcro and I've done magnets. Personally, my favorite, magnets. Magnets definitely my favorite. Okay. So, how come I never showed this before? Well, as you can see, it takes a lot of time. Your material costs are not that high. What is high on making these, just like my Ultra matches, is labor. Very labor intensive. You gotta really know what you're doing. And if you scrap a holster, you're pretty much sunk. Okay. So this is your main structure layer right here. You gotta get rid of all this. I actually kind of like the fact that this is actually magnetic. That really helps the process of my trimming. I'm gonna get rid of all of this ugly fiber sticking out, because duct tape does not know how to make a tartan brand tape copy to do from 3M all that well. But it's really good for layering, as you can see. It's really good for planning. It is. So you see these plain areas right here. You want to cut this. So. Okay. So after this, I'm going to do one set of layers, and then I'll do the rest, and then I'll do the rest again, because this will be a very, very long video if I didn't do that. Okay. Strands that are sticking out on the inside, yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, G.I. Joe. Crap. Oh well. I collected G.I. Joes when I was a kid. Okay, not the big tall ones that came out in the 60s, but you know. Okay, so there's that, there's all that. So, whoa, I missed a spot. So I want to get all this overhanging stuff done. Now, Oh, and how could I miss that too? Okay, important. So, okay, you see the eyelets right here? Okay. The bottom part has a rounded part to it. The top doesn't. What you want to do, you want to take that top part, you want to trim it. Yeah, because you don't want that sticking to your belt. And believe me, on a hot summer day, it will stick to your belt. Okay, there's that. There's that. Now let's go back into the living room, hang out with Mom and Dad. There it is. There's a base layer. I just didn't want to make a mess in here, guys. All right. What's going on with G.I. Joe on the news?
The guy who invented it died.
Oh, the guy who invented G.I. Joe died? Freaking sucks. Howdy. Alright, so here we are. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do one layer for you guys, and then I'll show you the end result. Okay? Black clothes, black shoes, black BMW Cadillac, yeah. The boys are top bomb. Sad enough. Okay, so basically what you do afterwards is just a ton of this. You just go back with strips, thinner than your substrate, okay? You notice this is thinner, and you reinforce it, you press it in, and you do this everywhere. Now, another thing to notice, if you want to shorten or tighten it, you just basically bunch it like so. And then you, here, I'll show you how I'm doing. You bunch it like so, and then you put tape like that. And then what you do is you trim this, and then you tape it on the other side. Loosening it, it's harder to do. You gotta stretch it out. This is why it's better to start looser than tighter. Okay. So. Okay, so now I'm going to reinforce the top cross member. And remember, you're just going to do this repetitively until you're happy how strong it is. And then put your base layer of duct tape that has your decorative finish. Mine is, of course, a line checker camo that I use on all mine. This is the strongest layer because to print it, they have to actually print plastic and put it on top of the duct tape, and they have to use a thicker duct tape to support it. So your printed duct tape, although it's expensive, it's the strongest stuff you can buy for holstering.
People who know Elliot Roger, the gunman in the Isla Vista shooting massacre, are speaking out. This as investigators.
Elliot Roger. I don't care, folks. Everybody has their own troubles, their own hard life. You don't go ramble on people. Seriously, guys. Seriously. I mean that to my viewers, too. All right.
The three victims stabbed to death at Rogersville Park are 20-year-old Cheng Yuan Hong from San Jose, 19-year-old George Chen, also from San Jose, and 20-year-old Wei-Han Wong from Fremont. The other three victims are Christopher Michaels Martinez.
Maybe it was a bad day to do a video, guys, but let's see. Let me finish this up, okay, guys? All right.
All of them UCSB students. We have live team coverage.
Sad. I remember that car accident they had years ago with that guy who hit all those people at Isla Vista. I really shook like my friend Josh and me to the bone because he lived at Isla Vista for a time. Okay. Alright. There it is, guys. There's the Rapidstrike. If it falls off at this point, then put more magnets on this to strengthen the hold. But as you can see, that's on your holster, and you can grab it in an instant. So I'm going to go reinforce this, and I'll add to the video later. See you in a second. Okay, so we got the two layers right here. I put many other layers like so. And as I do it, I tighten them up. And what this does is it gives me reinforcement. So I notice it's smaller than the base layer. And then outside those base layers, I put full length runs like so. And then take it and you cut them like this. What this does is it gives you a full length reinforcement after you put your primary reinforcements that are thinner than the rest of it. And you do this on both sides and everywhere. I want best to do not to cover this magnet. I don't want too much tape on that. Too much tape is too much space. Too much space for the magnets is too little pull. Too little pull, your blaster falls off embarrassingly during battle. Just remember that. It's real funny when it happens to somebody. It's just not really funny when it happens to you. Alright. But my blasters usually don't fall off my waist. Of course, that's trial and error, you know. NASA and the Space Monkeys. You know how that is. You know, if you're too young to know what Space Monkeys is, watch the right stuff, shall you? So as you can see, a holster, like I build them, they're built upon layers, upon layers, upon layers. Do not cut like junctions like in here, because you'll cause a tear, and that will eventually break. Right. And do remember there is one more layer that goes on here. One more, just one more, yes. First off, I got some real thin hang here. Remember that your decorative tape is your strongest duct tape because it's got another layer of plastic outside of it. It's a lot thicker than your standard tape. This can be used to take advantage of for its strength properties, which can reinforce your holster from coming apart. So usually if I got a thin bead like this left over from a blaster's duct tape, which I usually do, I will take the main strap line and I'll reinforce it with a bead as so. And do remember, if I run out of tape, I can always come back and get some more. What I want to do is I want to run this down the center of the channels as much as possible and then just trim it later. This is going to make a real nice solid holster, especially if I have this tape on both sides. Looks like I may have to actually go out and buy some more of this stuff at some point just to finish this holster. But the video, yeah, see that? So I'll just improvise for now. This outer stay is enough to do it, and I'll just wrap this around my front. I'll just wrap this around my front force center. I'll take this over here, tuck this under here, tuck this under here. Okay, and I'll have to do this part later. But as you can see, all I got to do is just tape it, like so. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this inside out. Again, and which is a real trick, a real good trick to use. Oh, anyway, this has been this video about making a duct tape holster. Be sure to subscribe. Why not? It's free. Like Tricks 1204 says, who's a really smart girl. Go see her. Another of my friends is Basic Nerf. We just put up a video of me and him and another friend of ours named Fujio. Hiking through Murphy's Ranch and possibly maybe proposing doing an HVZ game there. It'd be really kind of cool. Okay. So, here we have it. I'm going to take this holster, okay, and before I do a nice little holster draw and test shoot video, I'm going to stretch it and fit it. Put in mind, you put layers and layers of tape on this, and there's going to be a bit of shrinkage. One way to fix that is, one, you can compensate for before, but usually what happens is your holster will end up loose at some point, or two, when you're done with it, just put on your blaster, and you just stretch it out over the blaster. Pretty easy. Okay, so now, stretching process. now have our holster. It's gotta be decorated a little bit. I gotta put this camo tape on here and inside here. But for the most part, we have our holster. We have our minimized Rapidstrike. This is a skeletonized design that I often use for blasters. If it doesn't fit at first, find out where it's hugging. Like for example, it's hugging here. So I'm gonna cut some relief tabs on this, which means I may actually have to trim this to be a little thinner. Okay. Do not leave any of these like that. Eventually it will rip. Okay. 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 On the back, on the heel, another place that shrinks up. You need to take this over here to better cut over the profile of your grip. This is usually your thinnest point on the holster. But you need to do this as you are doing your holster, as you are making it. You need to do this in the end. Almost there, okay? But as you can see, this rear grip right here is beautiful, okay? It's gorgeous. I'm gonna grab another magnet, I'm gonna throw it on here. I sort of got a grip there, but now I have to eliminate more bunching up here. Okay? Where I see people fail at these the most is their lack of patience to fit them right. Me, I've done hundreds of these holsters for people. I've done quite a few for my own battles, my own fighting. Woo! Aha, there we have it. Now the next thing to do is just to sit here, let this all straighten out, this all bunch out. There we have it. There's the holster. And now we're gonna wait for this to all cure out now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.